Welcome back to another issue. I'm Beastie Boy.
I'm Table.
I'm Red.
And it is I, Shino Brando.
And in this issue, we look at clips from Crusade's past in celebration of our anniversary. Please enjoy.
Honestly, maybe they're going to go find the planet of black people who just keep to themselves. And that's why we don't see them.
Oh, Table! Oh my god!
This isn't Planet Namek, though.
Oh my god! They're as elusive as Yoda's people. And that's why they're so rare. You make sense.
You spitting these facts?
Spitting hard facts!
They're out there somewhere. We just got to find them.
My mind is blown! Now, only if they call this planet Africa, I'm going to be real mad. I'm going to leave that.
No, but you know what? They're going to call it Shaka Zulu.
I swear to God, if they do something like Too Black, I mean, like, listen, guys.
Yo, Planet Ebony.
Thank you. Like, stop.
Planet of the black
Like,
people.
thank you for the inclusion, but man, that's now you're trying too hard. Okay?
But like, I can see it, and it hurts that I can, because like,
Just Planet Black.
No.
No, they're classier than that. They'll call it Planet Noir.
Ooh.
So on that note,
Planet Negress. Okay, let's go.
Yes! No! You know what? No! Yes! I would want that. I'd be okay with it. Let it be Negress. I'd be okay with this. You don't know how much I love that.
I'm leaving that alone now.
I've had the conversation with Red about why Tim isn't in any recent animated stuff. Because, like, I get why that's true. Because in stuff like Under the Red Hood, in stuff like Hush, in these stories that are focusing on something else, it's incredibly hard to explain who Tim is.
Yeah.
Because his whole backstory is complicated and separate.
Yeah.
So he'd need his own introductory movie before you can incorporate into other things.
Yeah.
Where
Diminished
Damien's
Grayson
easy to
is easy.
use.
Yeah. The
Damien's
Dickie.
easy and so is Damien.
Dick Grayson,
There's-
easy. Jason Todd, dead. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim is too complex to be simplified into a 90-minute film, which means he gets shafted all the time.
All time. So so Tim, Tim gets a shaft because of the more complex origin, but like the character is the
Too good a character.
The essential Robin of modern TV media today, right? Without Tim, we wouldn't have a cool ass Robin with ninja booties and cool weapons and a bow staff and all that stuff. We just have Pixie Robin with a giant shoot me sign on the back of his cape
And his fists.
and his fists,
Or a grave somewhere that Batman doesn't want to remember.
Ooh. A good soldier. Excuse me,
Alright,
you were
Beastie.
talking about a child.
All right, Beastie, you've been quiet for a little while. What have you got?
You have some thoughts, man.
On my opinions?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to call the vote now? What do you want to do?
Or just give us the grand scope of why you like Jason so goddamn much.
Because Red Hood, that's it. No, because like, okay, let alone him being Robin, that's just like, the boy got like outed so harshly. But like him as Red Hood,
Yeah.
is like you get to see like a more grittier per se, obviously like a vigilante Batman.
Jason gets more interesting when he becomes Red Hood, much like Bucky becomes
Exactly.
more interesting when he becomes Winter Soldier.
He's a great counterpoint to
Yeah.
Bruce's mission.
He is.
Exactly.
But here's my argument. Ready? How many Dark Batman do we need? Azrael was first, so that position was already.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, but I mean, like,
Also, that was a great story.
like fucking Azrael is literally just made for the '90s. He's just made for the '90s.
Plus, he wasn't a Robin.
No, but he was a dark Batman.
Because
He wasn't
to
a Robin.
but '90s needed a dark Batman. You understand?
Nice.
And we got Azrael for some reason. John Paul Valley. Okay. And his origins are even more fucked than usual. And that costume was fucking ridiculous in Nightfall, okay? That thing is so bizarre.
It's
I don't even know.
It looks kind of like Jason's like murder Batman costume
Murder
during
Bat-
Battle for the Cowl.
But my thing is, see, with Jason's...
It's almost like they took inspiration from one dark Batman and put it with the other dark
But you see,
Batman.
the thing is, with
Yeah.
Jason's murder Batman costume, you can see the armament and what he's using. With that fucking Azrael costume, what the hell? Other than the murder claws, right, on
We
everything,
love murder claws.
right? What is he using?
A
Nothing.
flaming sword.
A flaming sword.
It looks cool as hell.
Oh, and the vengeance of God Almighty.
And the vengeance of God Almighty.
Yes. Yeah. So
Which Marvel needed to do, because me and a couple of guys had a discussion about this years ago, where the great thing about DC is that when things get kind of out of hand and they need to dial it back, they will do a crisis to kind of just like, make things a bit more tight knit.
Reset the
Smash the panic button.
Yeah, right. As where Marvel used to just let it run wild for years, and it's just like, God damn it, guys! If you guys would just do a crisis and clean your house, and make it seamless, this would be beautiful. And then they finally
depending on who you ask is depending on which war the Punisher fought in.
Yeah,
is the best example I can come up with.
Jeez.
First, he was a Vietnam vet. Then I think for a while he was a World War II vet. Now he's an Iraq vet.
No, he was a Vietnam vet. Then I believe he was a Iraq vet.
Yep.
And now Afghanistan vet.
So they just kind of have a sliding timeline that's like, hey, you can't have that and also Steve Rogers at the same time because that math doesn't work out.
Now his now stretches out that he's now according to the age, right? So like he went down in World War II and you adjust it to the time frame of waking him up. So like he'll be either 80 years old, 90 years old, 100 years old, but it'll always stick to that.
Speaking of sliding timelines, I was going to
say, if anybody really would like to find out more about Malice,
I like the suit design, but that's about it.
The suit was cool, but I mean, the idea is just fucking horrible.
Man in it, garbage.
God.
The soul in it.
Yeah, it's just
soul power high.
If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that garbage, just give me Max Scarlet Spider, man. Just right, like do that, right?
And O'Reilly.
Yeah. All these clones, hello.
Right? If we're gonna do that, just do that.
Yeah, give me Ben Parker, who was Uncle Ben and Peter died.
Versus Ben Parker versus Thomas Wayne.
Oh, that's another time. I would like this, but I want to see this for another time.
Right, and he's
Madeline Pryor.
Oh, Madeline Pryor. We don't get into that. And Mr. Sinister he's a naughty boy, right?
I personally like her X-Men Evolution costume, but that's
another good costume. Any costume
everything she wears,
she's flawless, man. Any costume she's had, she's never looked terrible, man. So, I think consistently she's had the best costume.
I don't like her so much in the white costume when she's wearing that, but
it still works.
God, it's just my least favorite.
Yeah, exactly. Mine too. Like I had like the costume that came before that one. It was the black one with the sharp lightning bolt across the chest.
Oh yeah,
that's a good costume. Before the all white with the two X's on the shoulders.
Black character with electrical powers.
Guys, there's a theme.
You know what? That's shocking. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Also, Static has had the most consistently cool costumes from comic print right to the cart.
Oh, for sure.
So I will fight you on this. Until Virgil gets his coat.
Yes.
That's a horrible costume.
What the original one without the coat and the hat that he had on his head?
Yeah.
I like that costume, man.
Until he gets the coat and adds it in and kind of mixes it up a little bit.
Yeah.
I
like his predecessor.
Long coats are cool.
His initial first one was like, I didn't mind it. Like I was okay with it.
You got to treat it like it's like homemade Spider-Man costume, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, cool, but it's not as cool yet.
Yeah, and then once you see that little that upgrade, you're just like, hey, I like this.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen, when Miles' first homemade Spider-Man costume in Spider-Verse is infinitely better than Tobey Maguire's first attempt at a Spider-Man costume.
That's because Miles has like fashion
or more
sense.
brain cells.
Miles is able to buy a already made costume and just spray paint it over. That doesn't count.
Yeah. See,
that's not homemade.
See, the thing is, Tobey Maguire hand sewed his.
That's why it looks dumb.
Yes, where he's not very good at sewing.
But he still made it handmade. So like,
what's your name, kid? The Human Spider.
What? That's a stupid name.
Yes.
Come again, Spider-Man.
That's not my name. My name is Human Spider.
Frick, that scene still kills me. He's just so peeved.
Shut up, man. You're going to get rewritten in 2 movies. So anyway, more
but at least Static. that Spider-Man was a fucking nerd.
Oh, jeez. But continuing on with Static Shock.
Red, I found the bookmark here for Holocaust, the villain. I will share it with you.
Why did you do that?
In our Discord, all right? So
Why did you do that?
So you can, because you asked, so here you can see it all his glory. Okay, so this guy's name is hold on. I'm just gonna go through this really quickly, but his name is Holocaust, and his powers are pyrokinesis, superhuman strength, durability, stamina, and agility. So not really much.
But
can we talk about giving a guy named Holocaust pyrokinesis?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like right there.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah, you know, this guy even still alive?
I don't think so. I hope not.
He was ultimately defeated when Kid Flash ran around him fast enough to open a vacuum, which then sucked Leonard into Earth's inner core. So he's dead.
Jesus Christ.
Oh. He's not dead. He's super dead.
they murdered his ass. They're like, hey, you can't live anymore.
They sucked him into the center of the earth.
DC was like, we need to make this guy not exist because his name is fucked. Let's get rid of this guy right now.
Because they named him Holocaust.
Hey, so how do we get rid of some kid that we named after a freaking, genocide? We got to do that now. No, write it in now.
Like Marvel
Which Kid
had
Flash was that?
It doesn't even say. Hold on. It was
probably Wally.
Fuck,
it was Bart. Hell yeah, my boy.
Bart. It was Bart.
Thank you, Bart.
Bart did
Bart for straight up committing murder.
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry, DC editors. I'll do your dirty work. I'm a flashpoint his ass down to the fucking inner core.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, man. What a way to get rid of it. I mean, like, Marvel had one named Holocaust, and they went and made this guy change his name, right?
That's a much better idea. At least you can keep it.
Right? DC's solution is just like, fucking kill him.
Murder.
Wow.
Mistake. Throw him in the center of the earth.
Like,
I bet you someone was just like, but what if we need him? And then Bart, the creator for Bart Allen, was just like, I'll do it again.
Listen, I want to say whoever created Holocaust, and I don't need to know because I'm sure they're vile human beings. They probably went, you know how we get rid of characters and we just kind of shove them over there and we just pull them from the bin? We're not pulling this one from the bin.
Right.
There is no bin.
Damn.
Only lava.
Well, hold on. I'm seeing Marvel looks like Marvel doubled down on this. So his name was Holocaust.
Uh-oh.
And then he went to Nemesis, but now his name is full back on as Holocaust.
I don't like it. Eject.
Marvel, you should have sucked him into the center of the earth.
Yeah, you guys might want to change that, Marvel. His name, from what I remember, is supposed to be Nemesis. Not supposed to be Holocaust.
Appropriate.
Yeah. Hold on. But Hyperion cracks Holocaust's exoskeleton open. The Emperor then proceeds to absorb Holocaust's bioenergy into himself and literally inhaling the villain effectively. Oh, well, it's okay. He's dead.
What?
Huh?
Hyperion.
I heard that very quietly. What?
So apparently Hyperion broke open his fucking shell and absorbed his energy and just effectively killed the guy. So Holocaust in Marvel no longer exists either.
Okay, good. So they were like, hey, we fucked up as well.
Yeah, so let's kill him. But I mean, like, his name was Nemesis. You guys were okay. What happened? When did that revert? Why did it revert?
Raced on a bike.
I don't.
It's like, I mean, the other name was okay.
Anyway, let's focus on Cass and the fact that the narratives screwed her over.
Hold on, Table. Before you go on, I have another point that might hurt you a little bit more. But on some merchandise for Tim, he's been known as Red Wing Robin for some reason.
Red Wing Robin?
You know how stupid that is?
And I don't know why.
Damien take the name Red Wing at one point?
I have no idea. I think so.
No, yeah. But now that we're on Damien right now in a YA book, he wants to be called Ian.
Why?
No, that book. I talked to some friendos about it. It was that whole thing was just a mess with Super Sun's branding because it wanted to sell weird spy stories related to global warming, and it was just like, what if we stick popular characters on it? It's horrible. Don't look at it.
Wait, hold on. Time out. My brain hurt on that one. Exactly what's going on?
So there is a YA book that is pushing global warming propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And Damien, Jonathan Kent, and who we believe is Vixen,
okay,
are the stars of said book. Damien is not colored to the color he should be. He's extremely white.
Okay.
Problematically white.
Oh, okay.
And in one of the issues, books, however they're released, Damien wants Batman to call him Ian.
Ian.
Apparently, he makes that anytime someone calls him Damien, he pitches a fit about it, kind of like that. But
kind of like
because
a petulant
the
child.
Yeah, because the author is convinced no modern child would want to be called Damien.
Ian?
He also doesn't go by Robin in this series. He insists on being called Bat Kid.
Stop right there.
So, can't decide. I can't remember, and comics can't decide whether there's supposed to be a C in there or not. But we said that.
GCPD.
Sometimes there's a C. Sometimes it's Gotham City Police Department. Sometimes it's Gotham Police Department. Who fucking knows?
I go by what they published back in the day. So they had the series GCPD, and that's what I remember it as, and that's what I go with all the time.
I think that's also called that on the show Gotham, so that's what I'm kind of rolling with too.
Yeah.
It also just looks better.
It does.
Same way that sometimes it's Wayne Enterprises, sometimes it's Wayne Industries, but Wayne Enterprises sounds better. So
way better.
Titans uses Enterprises.
Damn right. Anyway.
Okay. I don't even want to put it anywhere on this list. Bro. No, I'm more like
don't put out, PC. Don't put out, man.
Just calling it straight up booty cheeks.
Just dump it out, man. Dump it out. Rita's dumpster, man. Rita's dumpster. You understand? They went from angel fighters to pirates for some reason. One season they had an armor with fucking heads all over the fucking thing. Their power transition doesn't even make sense from angels to pirates. It doesn't even. It's not even a theme that goes together.
Why would you go from angels to fucking pirate masters of the fucking sea? Like, who the fuck gave this idea? And who greenlit it?
Put in Rita's dumpster.
I don't even put it there. I want to put it out. Like, I want it to be non-existent. Like, no.
You're an alley cat now. Get out.
Fuck,
no.
Who gave these swashbuckling swords? The fuck? Like, you see these?
They've got full-on cutlasses and like little muzzled pistols that you'd have blown in a stupid way.
Blame Bandai. Bandai, if you're listening, we love you.
He is the most faithful of companions, but he doesn't do anything super productive.
No, he's just there.
But he's comic relief when Sokka can't be. Like when Sokka's getting character development, Momo is there for comic relief, so it's kind of a Curly and the Straight Man.
Right. Yeah, a little balance over each.
Momo also, is a good contributing, like, identifier. As in you go, okay, we know these children because they've got that goddamn lemur.
Right. Or they're writing on the only air bison.
Yeah.
That's a dead giveaway too.
Sometimes they leave off in placements and like hide him and then go into town on their own with mixed results. Like she is blind. And that's not ever shied away from. It's never like, oh, haha. But like there are things she can't do. There are things she needs help for. When they're in the desert and there's that whole, like, she suffers because her ability doesn't work well in the sand. But in true Toph fashion, she becomes a master sandbender because fuck not being able to see or not being able to sense things the way she does. She holds up an entire castle by herself in that desert.
She's also a human lie detector.
I only learned about one about I think a day or two back. And from what I've seen though, his journey reminds me a whole lot of like a lot of old Chinese folklore stuff where you journey the land by yourself.
Yeah, very Journey to the West.
Yeah, very very much Journey to the West, self-taught, the whole thing. So like his story, like from what I seen his story, like, it was so entertaining. Like I want to show that to you
for sure.
Well, everything he did was for the first time, right? Like not only because here's the thing: it's one thing to teach, your bending style to people
another
who
human
are also attached to the spirit and blah blah blah. It's another to be like, well, I guess I'm out here in the scary magic woods trying to figure out how to bend the elements, I guess.
Yeah, he's just doing it. Just
and talking to the lion turtles and making sure that you don't piss them off, even though you totally do.
Like, it's like such deep fantasy lore stuff. Like, I want to get more kind of, like, backstory to there's so much you could do with this whole world. Like you could just keep going on and on and on.
So I appreciate that they took The Last Airbender and went, this is a story, and then ended it. And then they've taken Legend of Korra and went, this is a story, and ended it. Yeah. We appreciate when things have an ending.
Open and close.
Correct. We've said it before, we'll say it again. When things are over, they are over. Yeah. As much as Legend of Korra borrows and does things to the canon of Avatar The Last Airbender, you do not need both.
No.
Aang's children, like, full on talk about what's happened and gives you the backstory out loud in case you missed it. Avatar Aang is very important in Legend of Korra, but not integral.
His story is done. It's been told.
I wish there was some stories of between the two, when they are all kind of adults, but not quite, on their way out sort of thing.
Right.
Those are stories.
That's what for.
Right.
There's actually books about that.
The extended universe in the comics.
Yeah.
From IDW, I believe they're from.
Okay. There's, like an actual storyline, where, there's that, like, I guess, I wouldn't say book 4, but, like, that in-between of, like, book 3 and still just kind of getting to adulthood, right?
We're talking, like, the ages of, like, 16 to 18 kind of thing?
Roughly, I think. That's from what I'm seeing. Okay. So, because it is comic book, like, done, right? So, like, it'll still get the panels, right, and all that stuff.
Right.
I haven't read too much of it because I'm using other sources of hearing it audibly, but nonetheless, yeah. So I found out the stories were there, and people have been just like narrating it, and so yeah, like they're kind of just like slowly easing into it. But yeah, the full books I think are available somewhere. I'm not sure exactly how, but I think some bookstores maybe. I'm not sure, but I think you have to also check Amazon as well. To see
you can check our links in the description to find out some books.
There you go. But yeah, so it does kind of show up, like, let's say, like, yeah, roughly 16, 18, 20 of, like, when they're, like, all easing into their roles of, like, Zuko being,
King Fire Lord.
Later. Yes. And all that stuff. And then, Avatar Aang still taking on the role of being, Avatar and fully fledged, and then trying to, fix the world and then slowly change it into what it becomes later on for Legend of Korra. But yeah, there is kind of like a small in-between story. Not fully of like, hey, we're gonna ease into Legend of Korra right now, but like it's just more like, hey, there's an adventure of what's happening with these guys, and we're gonna show you what kind of happens in between.
You can sort of see the different relationships between benders and their elements and their style. And that, water tends to be extending yourself into the water and working with it, where fire tends to be an extension of the self as well, but more literal, as in literally from your fingertips you are extending this fire. Right. And then earth is almost reactionary. You interact with the world and you are asking it to do things. It is doing things in accordance with your will. And then air is very much, is almost more so being one with, but it's sort of like a combination of the one being one with and the reactionary, in that the whole point is, you are on the air, you are of the air, but you push and something somewhere pulls.
Right. The style of dance and training that Aang does when he's learning airbending, that we get a little bit of that, is just to move real quick and to like know where your space is, where you are. Very much spatial awareness. That's why when you see Aang bend, he does a lot of like spinny moves.
Okay.
Because he is moving with the air instead of like forcing it to do his will.
Yeah, very, very stylish with it.
Also, Aang with hair is bad.
I don't like Aang with hair either. It doesn't look right.
Indisputably bad.
I mean,
it doesn't.
No, go on.
Go on.
Here's the thing. Right, young Aang hair. Just give him a proper haircut. Maybe it looks good. But older Aang? Beard? Hey. So technically, with hair.
Beard is alright. Listen.
Yeah, but still, that's still hair.
Beard bald I could live with. Head hair.
Bald head.
That boy is bald.
It was questionable. The only thing that saved it, honestly, was the bandana. I'll say
also,
that.
Correct.
It's a cultural thing. He has so few ties left to his own culture.
Very few people are still alive from that time.
I do enjoy the vagabond clothing he was out of his airbending uniform and just wearing just something kind of casualish, and it was very like, I don't know how to describe it, but very warrior kung fu oriented. It looked cool on him. Just minus that hair.
Fair enough.
Ditch the hair.
He ditches it. Jeez.
Yo, man, bald head with that arrow on his head, like that's like no hair, man. Get rid of that hair. We don't need that. That's like Krillin with hair. We don't need that.
I mean,
we don't need that.
Oh man,
Krillin's better without hair.
No, they did Krillin dirty with that hairstyle. They just
we didn't need that, so Aang doesn't need that.
Leave the boy alone.
Go on.
It's lack of characters of color.
Oh yeah,
it's calling the okay. We're here now, so it's calling the title character Ong instead of Aang.
Stop.
I'm like, how dense are you? You couldn't watch one episode. They're 22 minutes long and understand how to say most of the characters. Like, pick an episode in season 2 and you say all the characters' names.
Red, stop. Okay, so from what you're telling me here is that this movie came out mid season 3.
I think after the show was wrapped up.
Yeah,
the show's wrapped.
Okay. Yeah, the show was over.
So this movie came out, and after all that source material, they butchered this kid's name.
Yes,
sir.
Go on.
Well, I mean, the firebenders don't actually bend fire. They take from lanterns and bend that fire, but they don't generate their own.
Very silly.
Wait.
They're earthbending, but with fire.
They're earthbending, but the only thing that nothing gets bended bigger than a pebble.
Wait,
what? They throw rocks.
They just throw rocks, basically.
No stones, no boulders, just
pebbles, basically.
Rocks.
I think a boulder gets thrown, but I think it's more not thrown, but more pushed.
It gets, you know how many people it takes to push a boulder in that movie? More than one, and it shouldn't. A boulder, my guy.
Wait. This you gotta give me this in small doses here. So,
okay, hold on.
So Fire Nation is they don't make their own fire. They gotta carry a lantern to do that.
The only firebending you see is when they are standing next to already burning fire, and they just move that fire.
Okay.
So no self-generated chi, just need outsourced chi, basically.
Oh my god! And so earthbending now is what?
It's
earthbending. Weak. I don't. Yeah, it's shown pretty weak because this is strictly in loose. There's not enough. Yeah, there's not enough other words in the human language to describe how loose of an adaptation it is of book 1.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so let me just give you a picture. You remember like literally in, I think was it book 1 or 2 when they showed the boulder in the fighting ring, right?
Yeah.
The boulder can literally move a boulder bigger than this boulder that they used in the movie, and he's by himself.
Oh man, okay.
Yo, you ever watched the movie Shrek?
3 to 4 people in this movie.
Have you ever watched the movie Shrek?
Yes.
You know when Donkey goes, "That's a nice boulder."
That
boulder can move more boulders.
Oh my god. Okay.
And
so
yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So wow,
yes.
I got that. Go on.
Yep.
Yeah. That's recap.
Look how furry he looks.
It's gonna be a good time in TV, man. It's gonna be good.
Appa is friend-shaped, and you know what? That's friend-shaped.
And I think just real quick with this the screen cap that is just showing at the moment. I like how if you look at it, Appa and the proportion of like Aang is like it's so realistic, and it makes me happy to see how they're gonna do this with this actual series. Like I can't imagine how big Appa's gonna be once they show him on screen. Like it's gonna be wild.
That is the size Appa needs to be.
Yes, full-heartedly.
Casting needs to be accurate AF.
Mm-hmm.
With the original people behind it, I believe that it can change the world.
Yes.
I'm not sure I do, but I want to believe.
If it is anything like the series in which they started with, now that they have already done Korra and they have done more legacy content deriving from Avatar, it could be a full adaptation, or it could be because they didn't start Avatar knowing that they were going to go into Korra. So now that they have a second attempt of doing Avatar, they can wrap some things in and make them probably a little more fleshed out.
Hey, maybe you might get your book 4.
Or 3.5 or 4 or, you know.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, go ahead and button mash a thumbs up. If you want to swing by when we have a new video, web up the sub button. Oh, and while you're at it, hit the bell to be notified by.